on at 5:30. That's Pop on Plank, and right now it's a bucket list moment for me as we say hello to the head coach of the Oakland Raiders. Dennis Allen joins us on the buzz. What's going on, Coach? How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. I'm just trying to get these guys better one day at a time.
Been a while, probably, since you had to call like a 918 area code, right?
Yeah, I see one of those. One of my buddies keeps his cell phone from the 918 area code, so I see it every now and then.
And hey, kudos to you, because there is that Tulsa tint to your staff as well. You worked for Coach Burns. Now he's an assistant special teams coach for you. And if I'm not mistaken, Mark Hudson was on the staff here too with you, wasn't he?
Yeah, both those guys. Keith was obviously. My relationship with him goes way back, all the way to back when I was in high school. So got an opportunity to bring him aboard here, and it's been a great addition for us. And then, obviously Mark Hudson was offensive line coach there at Tulsa when I was there. So bringing a little bit of hurricane flavor out here.
I like it. So what clicked in you, Dennis, after that 2000-2001 season that said, you know what? I think I'd be better in the pro ranks. What to you spoke to you that said I'm gonna try to make my living as a pro coach as opposed to being a college coach?
Well, I don't know exactly what it was that really clicked. I had an opportunity there in Atlanta. One of my best friends, Bill Johnson, who I'd been with for forever, was coaching there in Atlanta, and said I had an opportunity to go there and get into the National Football League, and I didn't know if I really wanted to do that or not, and I called R.C. Slocum. He told me to get there as fast as I possibly can, and that was all I needed to, get me going a little bit, and obviously it's worked out for me.
Yeah, and I can imagine that it's different for you when you made the adjustment, which is now over a decade ago. But Dennis, the most recent adjustment, where you go from being a coordinator with a disgusting team like the Broncos to an amazing team like the Raiders as its head coach. Now, and I'm a diehard since day one, man. I love the silver and black. But in all reality, it's early for you, I know. But what's the adjustment been like going from being a coordinator to being a head coach?
Well, I think the biggest difference is there's a lot of other things outside of actually coaching football that you got to deal with now as a head coach. A lot of things as far as the personnel is concerned, the structure of the building and how the building is actually set up, all the everything that goes on within the football program. Eventually, at some point in time, that information comes across your desk, and you got to be the guy that ultimately makes those decisions on what we're going to do and how we're going to do it.
Dennis Allen's our guest, head coach of the Oakland Raiders. How much, Dennis, were you able to gauge and evaluate based on what you watched on tape from last year's team?
Oh, I think I got a good evaluation on what the team was last year. Obviously, I think we're a talented team. We've got to be more disciplined and make sure that in the National Football League, you got to make sure that you make the other team have to beat you, and don't beat yourself with turning the ball over or silly penalties and that sort of thing. And those are the things that we've been stressing to the team, and they've been paying attention to that and really working on it.
And do you have somewhat of an advantage in being able to coach these guys? Because as a defensive coordinator with the Broncos, you were scheming against them. I mean, you were game planning against them. Coach, does that give you any advantage, kind of a head start to a certain degree on a lot of these guys?
Well, I think when you first get in here, it gives you a little bit of a head start. But, at the end of the day, you don't really know what you have until you really get a chance to get in here and work with them on an everyday basis. And, you find out something new about your football team every day. And so every day is a learning experience. For myself, it's a learning experience for everybody within the organization. And so, I don't know that getting an opportunity to scheme against them for 2 games, I don't think that makes the difference. But obviously it was a leg up.
You talked about that balance to being a smart team and not making a team beat you and not beating yourself. That's also a fine line, isn't it? Because I know you want your team to be aggressive, but Coach, it's also got to play within the rules, so to speak. How fine of a line, how difficult is that to walk from aggressive to borderline out of control, where, let's be honest, this team has been the last couple of years with penalties?
Well, I think it is a fine line, and that goes back to the way that you practice, and holding people accountable to doing things a certain way, and it's got to be done that way every time. And so that's what we've really preached, that message of making sure that you're disciplined and doing it exactly right. And if you do it exactly right every time, you create the good habits where you can make those snap decisions at the speed at which this game's played and make the right decisions.
You're a very cool customer, Coach, and I can remember thinking whenever I first met you in 2000, I'm like, this guy's going to be big time someday. But were there nerves when you first stood in front of the team, knowing that it was your team? When you first had that introductory message, was there any butterflies or nerves that kicked in?
You know what? Every step up the ladder, it's been the same way.
Really?
My first opportunity to stand in front of a group of players that was my own group of guys back at the University of Tulsa, you had butterflies that day. And it wasn't any different the first day I stepped in front of the Oakland Raiders as the head football coach. It was the same thing. But really, at the end of the day, as long as you believe the message that you're preaching, those butterflies kind of go away, and you just go about your work.
Hey, tell me about Jason Tarver. I mean, obviously, one of these young guys has a little bit of college background like you, but, and just looking at the pictures, Coach, and seeing all the highlights, it appears like he's going to get his hands dirty. He's right in there with his defense.
He really is. I tell you, going through the hiring process and getting a chance to visit with several coaches, this really was a no-brainer in my opinion. I mean, we sat up here one evening. He drove over from Stanford, and we sat here and visited probably for about 4 hours one night, and it was obvious to me that this guy is extremely bright. He understands football. He knows how to coach and speak to players in a way that they're going to understand and be able to do what he's asking them to do, and I couldn't be more pleased with that hire.
I've got a plan for you, Coach. On September 22nd, you turn 40, which is a watershed moment for so many of us. That next day, right, is Pittsburgh. So I think we've got a great birthday celebration to just jump out 3-0 with a win over Pittsburgh. Does that sound like a good plan?
Hey, I'm with you. Let's keep it going. Let's don't stop there.
And I will say, I brag to a lot of people because I have a picture from playing in the KB Open with you back in the day when we were in the same golf foursome. So that's my good luck. Hey, I knew Dennis Allen back before he was the head coach of the greatest team in the NFL. So
that's amazing because somehow that came across my email or something like that the other day, and I thought that's pretty interesting.
I swear I wasn't stalking you and sending it to you. Hey, Coach, congratulations, man! I'm so pumped that you're the head coach of the Raiders. Enjoy OTAs, and hopefully looking forward to getting to do this again with you down the road.
Chris, I appreciate it. Great talking to you.
All right, we'll see you, Coach.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'll take a break. When we come back, Dennis freaking Allen, the head coach of the Oakland Raiders. See, he was looking up that picture because he wanted me to sign it. And I haven't sent it to him either.
I was going to say, did you send that to him?
I got it right here, as a matter of fact. See?
Oh, my gosh, you do have
I really do. And now I've got to go back and rewrite it. I got to rewrite my letter.